The audio going. Hey, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode of our amazing podcast here, the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. We've got a guest on board ready to talk with us, so let's get things started. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Towards the near post, the flick, and it's in! Darwin Jones with the response for Orange County. And it is a massive one, off the goal, dominant in the last 10. Forrester in the middle now, gets around a few defenders. Forrester with the outside of the right foot. What a strike by Harry Forrester. It's the opening goal for Orange County.
He's looking for heads it down, back post, opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, presented by Roughneck Scarves. We are the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I am with you each and every episode as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Joining me as he does each and every episode, we've got Dylan from County Line Coalition. Dylan, how are things going?
They're going. I'm back in school, learning how to be a real journalist now. So maybe I will have maybe some improvements, but I'm good. I hope everyone's having a lovely week. It's the best part of my week. We're back.
Well, we're back now. This is back to being your best part of the week, huh, Dylan?
You know, it's one of those years every year.
Perfect. Also joining me as he does each and every episode, it seems like now, at least since the beginning of last season, that's Alan in San Diego. Alan, how are things down the coast?
They're pretty good. Just hanging out. Got a fire going because I have old dogs and they get cold. So we're just kind of chilling, hanging out. Maybe get some hot cocoa in a minute.
Just chilling, hanging out, some hot cocoa with the dogs. Great way to spend your Tuesday evening, especially if you're listening to our podcast here. We have a guest joining us from Orange County Soccer Club. First time on our show. Let's welcome him on. And that is Orange County defender Blake Malone. Blake, welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and get to know you guys.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to have you here and get to know a little bit more about you. You have a pretty unique story of how you arrived here in Orange County. You were part of the Sounders Youth Program. You went and enrolled out east at, I believe it was a UNC, and now you're here with Orange County. Can you give us just a brief idea of how this whole trip or this whole route to Orange County became possible?
Right. So, yes, I was at UNC for the fall semester, and then I was up with the U20 national team at the beginning of the year. And then I guess talks kind of just started to happen. And I guess I fell into the right place, and I got to know the coaching staffs over the phone, and we kind of hit off the conversation, and I ended up here. And I'm super excited to be here, and I'm ready to get this rolling, ready to get the season started.
And what is it that you're going to be able to bring to this Orange County team that is definitely hoping to contend for not just the Western Conference title, but the USL Cup when all things are said and done?
Right. Looking for shutouts. You know what I mean? Looking to have a really strong back line. Playing alongside Michael Orozco is huge. You know what I mean? He's such a huge player. Developing next to him will be fantastic. And we're looking to get results, shutouts, keep the ball out of that net, and get some wins.
Now, I don't know if you got a chance to watch Orange County in their playoff match last season, but Michael Orozco had a goal of all goals for the playoffs there with a bicycle kick into the back of the net, upper corner. Is that something that we can expect out of you, or are you not quite there yet?
Right. Maybe if the chance comes up, maybe you'll see it, but I'll probably leave the acrobatics like that to him. But if there's a chance, you never know.
Perfect.
You never know.
Let me open it up to Dylan really quick. Dylan, you got a question for Blake?
Yeah. I can't think of a better way to ask this question, but so I have to use some hockey terminology here.
Okay.
Given that Orozco really enjoys to get forward on the pitch, like I watched him track down a goalkeeper last year into his own or into the opposing 6-yard box. Are you more of a stay-at-home defender, or are you happy to get forward and close some guys down up high on the pitch?
Right. It kind of depends on the situation and I guess the game for me, because playing back in Seattle, we were very offensive and very attacking mindseted. So we would always press and we were always high up the field and we'd go at them, you know. So I think for me that I have the capability to do both. You know, I don't have a problem with either. I'll sit back if the game is calling for it, or I'll go forward. You know what I mean? I guess it just depends on what the situation is and what the team is doing, opposite side of us.
Let's open up. Alan, you got a question for Blake?
Yeah. How important was the Orange County philosophy of kind of marrying both experienced players, but also really focusing on youth development? How important was that philosophy in bringing you to Orange County?
I think that is probably one of the biggest factors in my move to Orange County, because I think that playing along guys such as Michael Orozco, as I stated earlier, that are so experienced and have that knowledge that us youthful players don't have yet is such an important part of development and getting to that next step. And I think that getting to be paired up with such experience is really good for us and beneficial. I think that it probably is the leading factor of what led me here to Orange County. And I think it's a huge part of our game and helping us develop.
Now, looking at you coming onto this team, although you are a younger player, there's quite a few players that are younger than you on this roster. And I think a big push from this team has been this pathway to pro for a lot of the youth players. And then this partnership that was just announced in the offseason with Rangers FC. What, you know, from your experience, either yourself or interacting with some of the other young players on the team, how big is that type of partnership for you as a professional or a hopeful professional for some of these younger players on the team?
Right. I think the partnership is huge. You know what I mean? It offers so many more different pathways and different possibilities for players to develop and grow, especially when they're, you know, youthful and so young. You know what I mean? You haven't really gone through it all yet. So with doors opening like that, it allows us to experience new and different things and new environments that are really beneficial. And I think it's beneficial for players younger than myself and myself, you know what I mean, getting to experience such different environments. And I think it's huge. I think it's a really, really positive thing for the club and for the players in it.
Perfect. And you went, like you said, we said earlier, you went from Seattle to North Carolina. Now you're here in Orange County. What's been your favorite thing here in Orange County since you've been down here? Just like, I mean,
so
not
far,
even soccer wise, just, just for maybe for fun or whatnot.
Oh, definitely the weather and getting down to the beach. You know, Laguna is beautiful. It's a beautiful area. And getting down there and just hanging out is it's really fun. And I love the weather. It's so much different than Seattle. You know, Seattle's a bit gloomy and a bit rainy, but the weather is definitely probably one of the best parts of Orange County so far.
Perfect. Let me throw it over to you, Dylan.
Well, in other hard-hitting journalism, what's your favorite vegetable and how do you prepare it?
My favorite vegetable. Let's see. I am probably personally a fan of sauteed peppers or oven-cooked asparagus, if I had to say so. I mean, I'm not huge on vegetables, but if I had to pick, those are probably my two favorites.
Does your roommate mind the asparagus?
My roommate does not. Seth is very, very. He's a very good chef, and he is all about that. And he's a very healthy guy too. And actually, he's a much better chef than I. So if anything, I'm going to be learning my tips from him. You know, so he does not mind that at all.
Butternut squash, butternut squash.
Exactly. That is something you probably will not see me making, but you know, all the best for him.
Perfect. And I got to agree with you. Like oven made asparagus is probably some of the best asparagus you can get. And just so you know, Dylan keeps asking these questions of all of our guests because I think he's planning on an OCSC vegetable cookbook at some point in the near future. So make sure you check back with him for any royalties he's going to owe you when he releases that book. Alan, do you have any other questions we can ask Blake?
No, I can't follow that question. It's good that Dylan's going to school to learn that type of hard-hitting journalism. I don't think I can think of anything that would top that.
You know what question is going to come from me then. Blake, if you were out, and you're basically being forced to sing a song at karaoke, what's the song you're going to sing?
Sing a song to karaoke, huh? All right, I guess off the top of my head, Danny California by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a good pick.
A little different right there, yeah.
In SoCal, that's for sure.
And then let me ask you, get back to soccer a little bit. How's the preseason been going for you? Have you gotten a chance to get out on the pitch with any of these players? And what's been working, and what do you think needs to improve from this point?
Right, preseason's been really good so far, and I've been out on the pitch in all 3 games, and I think that so far each session we're improving, each game we're improving, and we're definitely getting more cohesive as a team and bonding, and we're getting our roles right, and our pressing and our strategies right, and getting to work alongside with Michael Orozco and Aiden Quinn in front of us. It's been really good for us so far, and we're communicating and we're doing really good. So I think preseason's off to a really good start. And I think we're excited to see where it takes us, hopefully for a really positive season.
And I know it's the preseason, and, sometimes the important part of these matches isn't the win, but it's the getting the work in, developing, your strategies, chemistry and whatnot. But you guys have been, you guys put up a pretty good schedule here early on against some MLS squads, Colorado, New York, and now tomorrow, for those watching live tomorrow, which is Wednesday, you guys will be playing against Chicago Fire there at Championship Soccer Stadium. What should the fans be looking forward to that are going to be making their trip out to the noontime match there?
Right. Hopefully they're going to come out and see a bunch of guys working as hard as they can. You know what I mean? Putting up a good challenge for Chicago Fire, probably a lot of possession based if we can, and working on our press to try and trap them. And hopefully they see a good win for this Orange County team, against such a good opponent. But we're excited and we're ready for it, and we're thankful for all the fans that come out and support, because, that's huge. And they're really what keep us going and what, will give us that spirit to keep going and fighting. So that's huge. And hopefully we see them out there. That'd be awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. I've heard there's going to be some fans trying to make the trip. I know it's difficult for a lot of fans to make the day out noontime on a Wednesday, but I'm sure you'll get a few of them out there that are going to come check you guys out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Blake Malone, new center back for Orange County. Blake, do you have any last messages, last words to the listeners before you head out?
Thank you for having me on the show, and really excited to be here with all of you, and give everything I have for you guys, and hopefully have a really positive season. And thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Again, that's Blake Malone. You can check him and the rest of your Orange County Soccer Club out tomorrow at the Great Park Championship Soccer Stadium as they host Chicago Fire in a preseason match. Also look forward to the season opener when Orange County Soccer Club hosts El Paso Locomotive. That's going to be on March 6th, again at Championship Soccer Stadium. So thanks again to Blake for joining us here. We love it when we get players on the show. I love that it's becoming more often than not that we're getting the players on the show. I know last season we were hoping to do this, didn't quite get happen enough, or at least in my opinion. But I'm glad we're doing that, getting to learn more about some of these players on the team, especially, you look at this time of the season, you got the roster turnover, you've got new players that are joining us. So we're getting to learn a little bit more about them. Dylan, let me throw it over to you. How excited are you looking into this season with Blake joining in the defense with Michael Orozco, and you got Kevin Alston, you got some Rob, is it Kiernan that's joining us, and then also one or two of the youth players from Rangers. Do you think we're better at defense now than we were maybe say a month ago?
Yeah, and I honestly think we're better off in our defense than we were. Let me rephrase that. I think we're better off in our central defense than we were last season, and not even just last season. This time in which we had one center back, but I do think that. Blake seems really young and really hungry, and I think he's going to be a really strong option. I think he's probably one of those guys that just via work ethic is going to fight his way in the starting 11, and dare I say it, might be better than another UNC alum that's played for Orange County.
Dare you
is that
say
too
that,
high
of
expectation? Yeah, I know you're not happy with that, are you? But I do think the amount of effort that he's putting in is going to be a pretty big boost to the back line.
Well, and you got to enjoy when you hear him talking about his excitement to be on the club, excitement to get to work next to Michael Orozco, to be part of this team that has aspirations for the Cup. It's I know there's a lot of talk among some of the fans on social media that there's a lot of youth on this club, probably more than in the last few years. That doesn't always mean that it's one of these instances where you're looking at, okay, we're sort of copying now Los Dos or something like that, or it's all a youth movement, and there's not really a desire to win. You got some players on this team that are talented, some veterans. I doubt Michael Orozco, Kevin Alston, Darwin Jones, Aiden Quinn are on this team if there's no desire for a championship. They see this roster, they see that there's a good mix of veteran and youth players, which should help this team. And I think the competition on this field, like you said, Dylan, probably better off than we were last year in center back. You go into the season with some question marks. Some of the players you signed don't quite work out. We'll see where that leads. Alan, what do you think? Defense solid, or are there any concerns for you?
I think we had a moment of, like, in Football Manager where your players complain that you're not strengthening the side enough, and then you like go out and make like 6 signings to make everyone happy. I think there was a little bit of that element of, yeah, we know our back line is an issue and we've been making strides, and it's like you've been working behind the scenes, but no one really sees those names or know what's coming. And then you've been working on your back line, and then all of a sudden, hey, we can finally announce all of the work that we've been doing over the past probably months. I really like the mix of young and older talent on the pitch. I think that's going to make you competitive. It's also going to make you competitive in the long run. So you're not just buying old players for a couple of years that are going to move on, or they're on to your 1-year contract and they're gone. This seems like they're focusing on building a good depth of player that you can bring them along. You can have a good 3-4 year career in USL, and then hopefully develop to a point where they're ready to move on to the next level. And Orange County played a huge role in that. It's really fun to hear him talk how excited he is. He seems like a super positive person. I think that's going to show up on the pitch. And then on top of that, he talked about how important it was as a young player to have a team that has a philosophy that supports the growth of that young player. So I think it's just more, it's exciting to see that. And it's exciting to see that kind of pass into a player that's going to show up on the pitch. Like, I think that excitement and that support is going to make it out on the pitch, and you're going to see a lot of younger players really succeed.
Well, and I think another awesome word that we heard multiple times coming from Blake was work ethic, working hard, those types of things. Those are what we want to hear as fans that support this team. You don't want to hear someone that's going to come in just to cash some checks, come out and just kick the ball around for a little bit and whatnot. You want players that are going to come on the team and are going to fight for the badge that they're wearing. They're going to fight for the fans, that are going to give it their all, and basically leave it all on the pitch. So exciting to hear. Who knows where he is in the pecking order coming into the season. You got a couple of veteran central defenders there in Michael Orozco, Rob Kiernan. But definitely I expect to see Blake Malone getting his opportunities out there. And it's always nice to have some depth at a position like central defense to help out. So awesome there. Let's talk briefly, because I know I didn't go, and I'm going to just sort of guess that Dylan and Alan both weren't there either, but Orange County did have a match over the past week that we're here. They traveled up to Los Angeles, right near LAX there, to play a preseason match friendly against Loyola Marymount. Orange County ended up victorious 3-1 in that match, which I would assume you're expecting a victory when you're facing a local college/university team, especially if you're a professional team. I think fans can accept you're not going to probably win against the MLS teams, even if they're not playing their full strength roster, just because it's MLS, it's talent, it's the level above where Orange County sits. But when you're playing against a college team like Loyola Marymount, you're expecting positive outcomes. Dylan, I'll start with you. Do you have anything to throw in on this match other than, we won, yay? Or did you see anything following social media that stood out to you?
No, we won, yay. We conceded a lot less than usual. That's a positive. I know it's a college as opposed to a professional team, and an MLS team that was in the playoffs last year. But any preseason has tests of teams that are better than you to work out systems and defensive systems and work out playing under pressure. And then you need those games and those teams that are not as strong so you can work on your attack and sustained attacks and getting your confidence up as you absolutely obliterate a team. So hopefully that's what's coming in the next couple weeks. We inch ever so closer to a clean sheet, and hopefully by the time that the season starts, we have a couple of those going. And maybe, just maybe, with a clean sheet and Blake Malone's youthful joy, I might become a more joyous person myself.
That is a stretch, Dylan.
I know. But it's possible. Anything is possible.
Like Kevin Garnett said, right? I know you know that quote.
Never thought I'd be on a boat.
Never thought you'd be on a boat, yes. Alan, let's go to you. Do you have anything else to throw on top of what Dylan had to say about the 3-1 victory over LMU?
It's just, preseason is partially about getting your body up and running in game shape. And some of it's working on team chemistry. I mean, you brought in some familiar faces, but you added some new ones. So you need to work on, learning each other on the pitch and making sure where their runs are going to be and what shape they're going to make and their strengths and weaknesses as part of the unit. And that's kind of what you're working through. The results are almost always secondary because, you might play well and just kind of be off one or two touches because the guy isn't making the run that you think he's going to make. But it's always positive to walk away with a victory and put some goals in. So that's, I think, going to be really big in the West Conference this year, is just like it is every year, is you got to score goals. You're not going to win games, 1-0 a lot. You're going to win them by at least having to score a couple goals. So working on that team chemistry. It's nice to see 3 in, and it is nice to only see 1 in on Orange County side as far as developing that back line.
I mean, goals are important, and like we've said, I mean, the preseason is all about getting things working, getting the chemistry built up, figuring out what the strategy is going to be, and making sure that the players are ready to implement that when the season starts. So definitely good to see that that's working out. They're going to continue their quest to solidify their roster and prepare for the season opener actually tomorrow. For those of you watching live, if you're listening to the podcast, potentially today, potentially it already happened, but Orange County is hosting Chicago Fire, another MLS matchup, which, although again, it's tough for a USL team to go in and match up, against MLS teams. They've got more money, better talent for the most part, but it's still a good test. It's a good way to work out what you got, and who knows, maybe you sneak out something in the preseason. Looking at social media, it looks like this game will be at Championship Soccer Stadium, which sort of surprised me, being that it is a preseason match. Usually you see these matches played on the practice fields out there right next to the stadium, but maybe because it is an MLS squad, maybe Chicago requested that it take place in a legit stadium. Dylan, Alan, are either of you able? I'm going to assume Alan can't make it out because he's got some band to teach. But Dylan, are you going to get a chance to make it out there, or are classes getting in the way?
I wish I could, but I do have to learn how to become a real journalist, and I also have work. So it's the perfect
journalism,
storm.
School, and work. I
might eventually get to a preseason game, but no one hold your breath. Sorry.
And unfortunately, I can't make it out there. We've sort of done a poor job here this season on covering the team in the preseason. Last year, it sort of worked out because there was a match that was at UCI. I work at UCI, so I was able to take an extended lunch, go, tweet out about the match, cover the match a little bit. Unfortunately, with my work schedule, I work a full-time job. I can't really make it out to some of these. And unfortunately, due to just some stuff going on personally and with work and all that stuff, I can't make it out tomorrow. But I definitely am hoping, like Dylan, to make it out to one of these preseason matches. Definitely want to get a chance to see the team before the season actually starts and the games count for real. So we'll see how that goes and if that actually happens. But yeah, so anyone that can make it out, if you're listening to us live or if you're listening prior to noon on Wednesday, go check out Orange County Soccer Club as they host Chicago Fire FC in a preseason match, Championship Soccer Stadium at noon on Wednesday. That date is the 12th of February. Where can we go from here? Is there any other soccer stuff or Orange County Soccer Club stuff that you two can think of that we can discuss before we get into just some general soccer talk and sort of wrap this up? It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a short show today.
You were so worried about that Rob Kiernan news, and then what, the day after it came out? I won't spoil the next name that I think.
I guess we should talk about that, right?
Yeah. We mentioned a little bit last week, right? Ex-Rangers player.
There was the rumors that we were hearing stuff. I mean, it seemed like it was going to happen, just no official word. The club finally announced it this past week. My week is thrown off. I apologize. I thought we had already gotten a chance to talk about it because we did slightly talk about it last episode. Go for it, Dylan. For those that are living under a rock, let them know what they've missed.
Okay, well, we signed Rob Kiernan from Southend United. He didn't get injured in his last match, so that's great news. He played the full 90 in a back five, so I don't know whether or not that's going to mean anything for us moving forward. But important thing is he'll be coming in. He'll probably get a little bit of a break, having already played a few months this year. He's not that old, so he could probably play the whole way through the season. But my hope is that he's a good impact for some of the kids. That being said, Rangers fans were.
I was going to get to that if you didn't.
Not super. They don't rate him at all. He's what would you say? The defensive Harry Forster last week. So it's a little worrying.
That's a word. That's a phrase I sort of got on that was sort of comparing him to Harry Forster for Ranger fans, more of like a defensive version of that. Now, to be honest, or to be fair to him, he was a little bit younger when he was playing for Rangers. So maybe he's done some growing up and is a little bit different than what they remember. But yeah, they weren't too excited about it from what I remember reading on social media.
My hope is that the geographic change makes some sort of benefit for him. You can't really go clubbing in Orange County because there's not that many, and they're nowhere near Irvine. So it makes it a little bit less easy.
But I mean, some of these players know to go down to Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, so who knows?
True.
How many are you going clubbing now, Ray? Not too old for that?
Nah, I'm not.
But
I'm too old for that, man.
There's a lot of questions, and I know the results actually haven't been all that great in this preseason, but a couple, 2 seasons ago, we barely beat out Cal State Fullerton over 120 minutes. And things looked very, very dire, and we ended up going to the Western Conference Finals. So, I think the biggest thing is let the coaching staff let these pieces fit in where they fit in. And, it's a long season, so hopefully we get off to a good start this year. And we don't have to play catch-up through July and through August and September. So, I don't know. I'll try to get to one of these games eventually, and I can maybe say something more. But who knows? Who knows? It's a time of big questions, I think, for all of us.
I just like when we sign like Scottish and British players, because then you read about all the teams that they played on, and like half of them you're like, these aren't real places. These names sound ridiculous.
That's always a good time.
I wonder how many like Wikipedia people like sneak just like a random British team name in there. Like some of them are like, they're Burton Albion. Like that could be a real Accrington Stanley. I know that one. Brentford, Southend United.
The Shrimpers.
Yeovil Town. Kilmamock. I'm like, one of those could be made up. I wouldn't be shocked. But
it's Kilmarnock, right?
I don't know.
I read this right my whole life. I'm pretty sure I'm like legitimately worried now.
Well, I think we should do some deep dive.
Listeners, please enjoy as we all now Google Kilmarnock, which is what I know.
So
Kilmarnock.
He did play at Birmingham City, and that's my new favorite USL thing is I think Birmingham City fans trolling Memphis 1901 fans on behalf of Birmingham Legion.
Okay. Birmingham.
Are we going to get to that now?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Birmingham. We're going to have a pronunciation podcast, I think.
I'm from
I
California.
expect it from Ray. I'm so disappointed.
Birmingham, is that better?
So
Yeah, it is.
Birmingham.
let me say this really quick. Let me jump in really quick. So because we're talking about these random names, right? I'm sharing a screen from my laptop right now as we're talking. Everyone knows I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Dylan magically referenced Cartilage Free Captain last week, an SB Nation thing. I know I'm not a big fan of SB Nation at the moment, but still looking or when we started talking about this, there was actually something a year or two ago where they did some recurrently generated football league. They did a recurrently generated football league, which was all computer generated. What they did is they put in basically the names of every English football team, I think from level 1 to like level 8 or something like that. And then this computer somehow learns the way names are done for English soccer or English football based off of that. And it created its own team names. And there was actually some pretty interesting names that came up. I mean, who would love to play for a team called Clued?
What about
I mean, just that's your team name is Clued. And then Fackingham.
Yeah, I'm definitely signing for Glackfon Manor.
Fackenham.
That's my new team.
But you don't like Death Migerstown? Come on, man.
No,
Death
Farton
Migerstown.
is obviously the best one. I don't even need to explain that. Me and every 9-year-old that's listening to this podcast is having a laugh.
Yeah, we have to rename, otherwise it's like the worst podcast content ever.
So this is where you miss out if you're not watching or listening to us live. You're missing out. By the way, thanks to our not our friends, but thanks to Cartilage Free Captain. I hope you didn't mind that I shared some of this. If you're interested in reading more about it, go to their website. You can just do a search for recurrently generated football league, and you'll find that. The cool thing about it, and if you look into it more, you'll find it more, is they actually went and their masthead, their writers went and each picked like a team that they were going to represent and created a badge, created a jersey for that team, and created a fake backstory for each of those teams. So you might be able to go on and find out what is the history of some of these teams, like, you know, Farton or whoever it may be. I forget what they wrote about, who they wrote about, but you can check that out. So, I mean, go on to their website, check that out. It is actually a really fun thing. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough about computers and how to make that work, or I'd love to be able to take something like that and run it with like the 4 tiers of US soccer and see what comes up. It probably would be very stupid. It wouldn't be as fun, but check that out. That's Cartilage Free Captain. You will have to probably see some Tottenham stuff before you find this, but I mean, it's interesting stuff. You can find some really interesting stuff there. Hey, you know, do what you want to do. I mean, I wish I could figure out how to do this really quick. Hold on, I got to do this. I'm doing two keyboards at one time, so I'm having difficulty trying to figure this out. But I want to have Dylan and or Alan each try to pronounce a specific team that was on this. I have it highlighted on my screen once it comes up. So if you're watching, you can see it. Dylan, Alan, I'm going to have you guys each try to pronounce this name. If you guys need me to try and make it bigger, I can try and make it bigger by
phrasing. We're still doing
this.
That's what she's said.
Yep, that's what she said.
Thank
you. Let me see if I can make this work. I totally just butchered it.
So for those of you who are listening and don't watch, imagine you're trying to get your grandfather or grandmother to zoom in on something, and they're struggling.
Yep.
That's what's happening here.
I've been done for like a minute, Dylan, while you're trying to crack a joke there. Alan, I'll let you go first. What's the name of this team? You got to unmute yourself before you give the answer, Alan. He's refusing to even try. Dylan, what's the name of this team?
I'm going with Falmouth Basilil and Turo 4.
I was going to say Darlington Town.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, check it out. It's fun stuff. That's what we do here when we don't have much stuff to talk about Orange County Soccer Club wise. We find random stuff on the internet. And it's because you guys started talking about English football teams that don't sound like they're real teams, and that totally led me onto that. So thank you, gentlemen, for helping me find or figure out a way to throw that in there. Yeah, where were we? We're talking about all the teams that Rob Kiernan played for.
That was like a Trent Alexander-Arnold ball into the box assist on that one.
Corner taken quickly.
Hey, quick corners are the best secret weapon you can have. My youth team scored.
If you tell
a goal
everyone
on
it's
that.
not secret. If you tell everyone it's not secret.
My player kicked the corner, and then my player ran to the box. Another player ran to the box, and it bounced off his butt into the goal. We got a goal off of it. That was awesome. Anything else we could talk about? Anything else we could talk about Orange County Soccer Club wise? Or I guess, did we finish analyzing Rob Kiernan joining? I mean, I think we got a little bit, but I think we got sidetracked.
He's already played a few months this year. And Rangers fans seem to hate him. And I hate to say that they were right about Harry Forster. So who knows what's going to happen? We'll get behind him anyway and see what happens.
Okay. As long as he doesn't step on a face or rub cleats on a face, that'd be fine with me. Okay, let's talk about soccer. Any soccer news to talk about at the moment? Not USL. Alan, go for it.
Congratulations to the U.S. women's national team for winning like everything again. Like they were pretty dominant in the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying. Canada looked a little stale. Mexico had some pretty good play in the tournament, but again, the women showing up and people showing up for the women's game versus the men winning and like 8 people showing up. So good job, women. Keep it up.
Dylan, what you got?
Inter Miami might not get to keep their name, which would be great because they don't have to play in Miami. And yeah. In other news, Luton is still bottom of the championship, so see y'all in League One.
You sound excited about that, Dylan.
Oh, I'm thrilled watching a team go from 2 successive promotions to Hey, so if you like a Prem club or like you like Roberto Martinez or something, and then Roberto Martinez starts to get involved with your club, or you hear the name Graham Jones, find another team to support.
Noted.
Okay. Sure.
In other news, Tottenham.
Wait, hold on.
Tottenham got 76 points for the remainder of the season. So with one win, Liverpool can match the top points that Tottenham can get. Just to remind you.
You're jumping ahead there because I wanted to jump on this Inter Miami stuff.
Go ahead.
I was reading somewhere someone I think was butthurt about this Inter Miami news where they basically said like in a few years Inter Miami is going to be a bigger club than Inter Milan, and so that this is sort of stupid. And I hate to say it, Americans are just stupid when it comes to soccer. For the most part, not everyone, but in general, Americans are stupid when it comes to soccer. There's no way Inter Miami ever becomes bigger than Inter Milan. Is that correct, Dylan?
That's a rhetorical question. We all know the answer to that. Unless you're on whatever drugs you're on, if you have to live in Florida, I don't think you'd actually think that. Not even Pitbull.
Okay.
Mr. 305?
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, I think he's 305 too. I think. Alan, can you confirm that he's Mr. 305?
I can neither confirm nor deny. That. Sources inside Pitbull's team will not confirm that with me, but I'm sure you'll get a tweet out from USL later.
From USL?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think.
Am I like missing something there with that quote? What is USL going to do about Pitbull?
Nothing.
Okay. Is this what we hear from you when we're listening to the Fair Weather Pod? Is this what you're like, Alan? Are you giving us a preview of Mr. Allen from San Diego on the Fair Weather Pod?
No, I'm all out of good bits. I used them all last night. I'm like,
okay.
Phrasing.
Usually it's Orange County, then fair weather. But this week we moved it to Monday because I will be busy.
You guys are trying to like jump on us, huh?
I will be busy tomorrow. So I will not be available. I'll be watching a soccer match, and celebrating stuff.
Real soccer.
Real soccer.
Is it his birthday, Dylan? Tomorrow?
Yeah. So I don't even think Inter Miami will be the most popular pink-birded soccer team in the United States, let alone as popular as Inter in Italy.
Hold on. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's not even a hot
That's
take.
a fair.
That's just a
Yeah,
factual
that's a pretty
statement.
fair.
Right?
That's a
There's
pretty fair take there. I
no
mean,
spicy take. I just spit facts. That's all.
and remember when Alan was just this guy on a USL show podcast, crumbling a bag of chips and making like a bunch of noise while people are trying to watch, and just everyone's cracking up.
I was opening a soccer jersey kit. I was opening it and forgot that my microphone was on. I was a rookie.
I remember listening to that podcast. I think I actually was watching that one live the few times I've gotten a chance to watch them live, and that was happening. And I think everyone on that pod was just sort of like looking with this dumbfounded look, like, what is going on? And they had no way to stop it, control it, do whatever. Alan was just taking, it was like a mic drop for Alan. Alan's jumping on the podcast, taking it over, and he hasn't stopped since.
I mean, you can't break that momentum. You got to ride that win streak.
Gotta ride that. Anything else soccer related? I know Alan was trying to, throw some shade there on Tottenham fans, but we're not listening to it. Dylan is sad that his English team is going to get relegated at the end of the season.
Hey, we're less than a month out from the beginning of our season, so I'll see you all at Championship Soccer Stadium March 7th.
I guess I got to do this if we're doing soccer-related stuff.
Bigger news, I think there's some dollar beer nights or something.
Yes!
Remember about that?
Yes!
So,
okay, now, before we get into this, Phoenix fans, shut up. We're talking about dollar beer nights, and it's our dollar beer nights. It's not yours. We don't want to hear what you have to say that Orange County's copying Phoenix, or Orange County this, or Phoenix that. Just shut up, Phoenix. Go for it, Dylan.
Okay, well, it's like you never listen to my random thought, which is always like, be good to one another.
But it's Phoenix.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, they have a couple of our former. Anyway, things are getting kind of crazy this year. I think it's every Friday night. We're doing great.
Friday night.
We are following Phoenix in their footsteps because Phoenix leads the league in terms of doing good things for their fans. Close seconds, probably Ford Madison. But yeah, so dollar beers. I think that's supposed to happen on the 7th home opener, or season opener actually.
Sixth.
I don't know how to do math. I can't count. That's not what I'm going to school for.
And you have
it should be the time.
Hey, and the dollar beer nights are going to be followed by fireworks afterwards, after the game. So
yeah, so you can
you
really
can
get
come and get drunk, and then the kids
migraine.
can have fun watching fireworks.
Yes, exactly. Take an Uber, take a Lyft, ask a friend. That's the better option. Carpool with as many people as possible. Be good to the environment, be good to each other. But we'll see you out there so soon. Less than a month away. I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. I am super excited about that.
Okay, so I think it's time for random thoughts because we're out of soccer news. We've wasted 20 minutes of everyone's time because that's the last time we mentioned anything of substance. For at least on my part, I'm so sorry,
Look
everyone.
at Dylan taking control of this podcast, man.
20
He's like, we're
minutes
just moving
of
on.
this podcast. Alan, what is your random thought before we sing you happy birthday?
I got two.
Okay, because it's your birthday, we'll give you two.
The first one is I completed the Ford Madison challenge. I was very proud of myself. If you haven't heard about this, Ford Madison will send you an autographed letter from their coach, like personalized to you if you take through a modification Ford Madison to the Premier Division, win the Premier Division, and then win the Cup at the end of the playoffs. And they've been really cool about sending personalized letters, making sure if you have screenshots, they'll include like big games that you won. And it's just another reason why Ford Madison is killing it in fan relation. In different news, just sending out thoughts, positive thoughts to Jay Bomeister. He's a player for the St. Louis Blues. And tonight, during the Blues Ducks game, he collapsed on the bench. And they had to stretch him off the ice. The news is that he's awake, that he's on the way to the hospital. So he is awake and responsive. But they have canceled the game tonight. So I'm sure on behalf of the other two gentlemen on the pod, sending thoughts, positive vibes to the whole St. Louis Blues family, and to Jay Bomeister.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
I couldn't have said it better.
Should have gone the other way around. Now it's a really big downer.
I know now.
That's
Who's
usually
gonna
my
follow
job.
that, Dylan? I guess Dylan's following that.
All right, Ray, it's up to you to bring us up. I don't.
Well, I'm not going to bring us up. I'll try, but it's not going to be that uplifting. Should I go first? Keep the mood down, and then you can lift us up.
All right.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say simple and sweet. Get pet insurance. If you have a pet, get pet insurance. Taking care of pets, especially when crazy things happen, can be very, very expensive. We're going through that in our household right now, which is not fun. So if you have the opportunity at the moment, get pet insurance. Go, Dylan.
Yeah, I thought that was like a segue into an ad, and I was like, did we get a random
Another sponsor?
sponsor? And wow, this is.
I wish that's what it
you
was.
could do this.
I wish that's what it was.
All right, well, that's fun.
Make us happy. Okay. I hope you have a happy poem for us to read, Dylan.
Yeah, sure.
It's by Sylvia Plath.
The Bell Jar is a great book. We should all read it. No, I have a poem by Jari Bradley, which is Jari. Bradley's self-explanatory, I think. It's called Unruly. Give it a read. It's really short, as per usual. But it's a solid little pick, and I try to pick things that don't waste everyone's time because I know life is busy and we consume a lot of media. I think the average person 7 hours a day of media, which is incredible. So my final recommendation is Lucas Nelson. Maybe listen to Lucas Nelson, specifically listen to Lucas Nelson and the thought that you should turn off the news and build a garden.
But listen to this podcast while you're gardening.
Listen to this podcast while you're doing anything. Cooking butternut squash.
Just put a little Bluetooth in, and there you go.
Putting some asparagus in the oven to bake it. Celebrating your birthday at Pechanga Arena in San Diego. Long may it stand. Yeah.
Do we need to sing now, Dylan?
No, I'm not going to sing on this podcast.
Thank you.
But everyone, it's Alan's birthday, and I know we forgot last week, but this week he will let you know where you can find him on the Twitter machines. So, Alan, it's your turn.
Hold on, we got to sing happy birthday to Alan. We have
we're going to do that after.
Man. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't want to torture him. He listens to bad musicians
Alan shares
every day
his social media. We'll do it.
You can find me at Underwood48 on the Twitter machines.
All right, perfect. So now everyone, as you're listening, if you're listening live or if you're listening on the podcast, on the count of three, you're going to sing happy birthday to Alan with Dylan and myself. Dylan's going to sing. He has to do it. No, Dylan, you have to do it.
You can hit pause and sing to Alan in your car or at your cubicle.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you.
We're going to get you a metronome and something to sing along to. Maybe Alan can teach you how to music.
Yeah, tempo and pitch control.
Oh, and this one time at band camp?
Oh, my God. Okay. So, everyone, it was great. You can find me on Reddit /u/OCSC_Dylan or on Twitter @OCSC_Dylan.
And you can follow me on Twitter at DJ Racemore. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast. Look for our website, OCSCpodcast.com. You can find each and every episode, including this one, once it goes live. You can also find all the latest Orange County Soccer Club news. I also want to say a quick thank you to sponsors. Let's see. Let me get my script here of what I need to read because I totally was not ready for it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Tired of the same old uniforms and cookie cutter templates from Nike and Adidas? Looking for a unique, completely custom kit for your youth club, Sunday league, squad, adult, or even pro team? Icarus FC can help you create the kit of your dreams at an affordable price. Let them help you design your new custom kit today at IcarusFC.com.
IcarusFC.com.
Icarus. Dang, I can't get it right. I'm I'm going to send you the script for that, Dylan, and you're going to do it. IcarusFC.com.
I'll do it. Everyone, I'm so sorry for the last 26 minutes of your time.
The best time of their lives. So let's do this. Alan's gone missing. I think he's upset. So let's end this, I guess. I want to thank all of our loyal listeners for listening to us each and every episode. We appreciate the support that you provide us when we're doing this. Yeah, okay, whatever. And for those of you listening, if you're listening for the first time, check us out on our website for any past episodes so you can hear all this fun stuff we reference from time to time. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, don't forget to come on out to the opening day match if you're going to be able to come out early. Dylan, Alan, myself, we're going to be there doing a live pregame show at the stadium. So you can come just listen to our voices on the speakers. You'll be able to find us there in the fan zone. For Dylan, for Alan, happy birthday, Alan. I am Ray. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.
You have been listening to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. For the latest Orange County SC news and information, visit our website, ocscpodcast.com. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com.